So Halo is finally out, and people hate it a lot, apparently. What's my verdict on the show? I am very, very mixed. Like, it's complicated. Like, there's definitely a lot of problems that I have personally with the show and where they're taking the story. But I also don't know where exactly it's going or what the actual intent is. It's clear that they're making their own canon while borrowing stuff from the original canon, and whether or not that conflicts with Halo's main message and tone is going to be determined, to be seen. Um, but it is I don't blame people for being skeptical because we've been burnt out a lot with like crappy entertainment, and people who are into Halo, they are really into Halo. Like, it's an amazing game, it's an amazing universe, and like people are tired of Star Wars. They want something new. That's why like people are so upset for this show, because they are desperate for something to watch, to enjoy, to escape, and they want this show to be that. At least that's what I want from this show. And after that first episode, I'm not sure if we're going to get it. Let's break down what the key complaints are. I won't go over like the entire episode, just like what seems to be like the biggest complaints from some of the other reviews I've heard regarding the show. So first off, you have this rumor that Master Chief's not going to be the main character, and so far that doesn't seem to be the case. I'm hoping this Kwana doesn't pull a Ray or anything, but so far no. Chief is kicking ass, so they got that part right. Chief kicks ass. It's everything else that the show seems to be floundering. Like, it seems to really dislike the UNSC, despite the Covenant being the bigger threat and the main threat in the universe. Like, yeah, in the books it goes into like all the morally dubious, like shady shit the UNSC does for the greater good. But in this, like the UNSC is portrayed as corrupt and evil, and they aren't portrayed like that in the games. So game viewers, especially, are going to be very confused. But what I do think, I do have a theory as to why this change was made, and I do hope I'm wrong. It's because modern Hollywood does not like ultra militaristic or glorified militarism, which essentially Halo is. And it's really good at it because you're literally fighting an inhuman force bent on destroying humanity. Like everything, it's either do or die. You kill them before they kill you. You avenge and protect humanity. That's like a big thing, and I can see Hollywood thinking, wow, that's super problematic. Now, I really do hope I'm wrong and that the show pivots back on course, but but that could be the reason why they're changing so much, is because whoever wrote this show did not like that the militarized force are the good guys. People also seem to have a gripe with the CGI and some missing special effects in the production. I agree there's no excuse for why those special effects shouldn't have been finished, and good on everyone for catching that. But the thing is, I didn't catch that when I first watched the show. It didn't really hinder my enjoyment of that scene, and I really did think the battle scene was the best part of the episode. I loved the gore. I loved like seeing those like stupid kids get blown to smithereens. It was it was funny. Um, but yeah, absolutely no excuse to as to why they couldn't have finished editing those special effects. But overall, an enjoyable action scene. I'm perfectly fine and actually would prefer a reimagining of the original Halo series because we already got that story in game format, and I would like to be reminded of how good that story was, and maybe like see if we can add new things to it while still being familiar. However, like if this show goes on a completely different tangent and we don't arrive at the same destination, then it's not going to be like I'm fine with like the journey going different places so long as like the show arrives at the same destination, if that makes any sense. And we don't really have any indication that it's going to do that. It could completely spiral off and eventually stop even using like the books and the games as like a a base for the show. So I think that is also a big concern, and one hopefully if the showrunners are smart, they will take into consideration when making season two. Not a lot of people have a lot of faith. Like I know Midnight's Edge was talking about Secret Hideout, which I don't really know much about, but apparently they're the reason a lot of the older Trek fans don't really like it, and why there aren't really any new Trek fans. Um, so yeah, so I just know that the Secret Hideout is like ultra political, and they put that politics first before storytelling, which is something you should never ever ever do. You should the first thing should be to tell an engaging story, and also when it's a property people know, to please the fans of that series. My final gripe with the show is the definitely the human girl who lives with the Covenant. I don't know where that storyline is going. It really breaks a lot of what we know about the Covenant and their motivations, and I was hoping they would give a good explanation to it. But we honestly, I'll have to see where the show is going before I can really say. But that is like a big. It the scene was bad. The scene was really bad. It was really confusing. Um, Good they got the prophet's name right though. But that scene was really bad, and there were a couple of other like bad scenes. I some of the acting was kind of awkward, especially like during those like big like command scenes, and hopefully it gets better. But yeah, definitely the acting need should be better. I actually think Kwan Ah and Pablo Schreiber are actually the best actors currently on the show, and whoever played the father. Everyone else just kind of falls really flat. I'm not really like feeling it with yeah, I'm sure, like, a lot of times these shows get different directors for each episode, so like hopefully that makes a difference later on. Anyways, to close, my intent really is to find enjoyment from this series because that's ultimately what I'm looking for. I'm hoping I can get that enjoyment somewhere down the line. Halo is legendary, and a bad television show isn't going to dismantle that legacy at all, especially if they're not even going to follow the game's story. But I'm hoping they do because it is a good story. And they should really borrow from that story if they want the show to succeed. I'll stick around. Hopefully it gets better. I want to thank everyone who's subscribing, and hopefully you guys will catch my second video when the next episode drops out. All right, let me know what you think in the comments. Catch you guys later.